Hello, everybody. This is Swati, live from New Delhi. I have tomorrow here, and then I'll be traveling back to Los Angeles. But from your point of view, it's going to be the same time and the same series that we are following. This is week 2 of our mindfulness camp. In week 1, we were learning about mindful activities. In week 2, we are going to focus on the life source, the breath. Before we actually get to the breath meditation, as I told you, first logistics, then today I'm going to tell you a story and we'll get to the breath awareness meditation of today. Logistics. I would love to put the testimonials from some of you on my social media. It would be so nice if you can email me just one line or 2 lines of what you thought about this camp. If you want to write something longer, maybe something about your experience or something that you got from it, that's even better. At the end of this testimonial, do tell me if it's okay to use your name or if you just would prefer anonymous. If it's okay, also tell me something about what you do, like actor, professor, or whatever the profession is, if that's okay with you. Please email me your testimonials. By putting it out in social media, more people will be interested. And the whole point about this is to spread the word of mindfulness, this power of mindfulness. And I really hope that by the end of the 6 weeks, you will understand what I mean by the power of mindfulness. We are going to get there. Now, a story. Today, I'm going to tell you about a story that is not from too long time ago, just about 36 years ago, of a person called Jon Kabat-Zinn. I may add a little bit of a drama, but you will know what part is drama and what part is reality. In fact, I'm going to give you a link. Those of you who are interested in finding out more about Jon Kabat-Zinn and how he is the one who started what's called MBSR, mindfulness based stress reduction, mindfulness based stress reduction 36 years ago, by secularizing the idea of mindfulness. Because of realizing the power of mindfulness, he decided to come up with this 8-week long stress reduction program in the University of Massachusetts Hospital. I'm going to give you a link for those who would like to find out more about it. In this process, I'm going to tell you about 2 places. One is a website called mindful.org. So let me get to it. And please bear with me. I'm going to do a screen share with you. Okay, so this particular website, let me get to the top of it, but in any case, it's a magazine called Mindful. So you can go on mindful.org or you can subscribe to the magazine. One of the things this magazine, this website does is sometimes it puts up things like Jon Kabat-Zinn video series on mindfulness.org. You will get some idea of who he is. Jon Kabat-Zinn, okay, before I say that, I would like to give you the link on the right side for those who want to use it. I find it. Oh, well, looks like this one is coming from happysmarts.com. So maybe this is something that you guys already have, the ones who have done that. Anyway, I think you can see mindful.org. Let me know if you can see it. Okay. So please go there and learn about him if you're interested in learning about different people who have done work, original work in this area. Now, John Kabat-Zinn is one of them. What did he do? Why am I mentioning his name as the first? Buddhism is really not a religion. Buddha was, in my view, really a psychologist. The ideas from Buddhism had already come to the US by the time John Kabat-Zinn was studying it very seriously. In fact, what he was doing was he was attending, I'm going to get rid of this, okay, multitasking. This is what it does. Now I'm fully here. Just John Kabat-Zinn was a molecular biologist, and he was working in the University of Massachusetts Hospital. There, in Boston, there were some Buddhist, very serious Buddhist groups, and I will tell you about it in the future, where John Kabat-Zinn was doing his studies. Serious studies, like a monk. One day he came out of his office over there, or came out of wherever his hut, I'm not sure from where, and he said, aha, I have this idea. Whatever I have learned here, it's nothing to do with religion. In fact, it is about sense of well-being and reducing stress. And this is such a powerful tool. And I want to start something, I want to start a program that incorporates these ideas, incorporates these meditations, and also teaches some movement and some other things together with it. And I want to see if it really reduces the stress. He came up with MBSR. Then he decided the people in the patients in the university hospital who were not really responding to the usual stress reduction techniques. He said, okay, let me offer them this particular class, and I'll do a research study. I'll have a control group who will not get this training and the ones who get this training, and then I'll decide if it really works. I would imagine before he actually got into the research studies, he probably just did the MBSR class for the patients, and it was successful. It changed the patient's relationship with stress. What does that mean? The way people react to stress before and after is different. If there is respiration, if there is this increased heartbeat and all these physical symptoms, after the course, those things are not as important. The reaction, even if it is intense for the moment, can be reduced very quickly. Your rational thinking kicks in faster. If you're a student and if you have an exam and you have experienced stress, but if you have gone through mindfulness training, you will react to the exam stress differently. You will be able to stick to your schedule better. So once he realized this, then he started making studies. The studies were very successful, and slowly the word spread across all different hospitals. So I have to say, hospitals were probably the first ones to get into mindfulness groups. Secular, but yet sacred. Simple and yet serious. So the 8-week long MBSR course was established in other hospital environments as well. Because of the research studies, which was one big difference between other types of spiritual work versus MBSR, it became evidence-based. Again, I have to say, mindfulness can be used for spiritual purposes, but it really is a tool for well-being, tool for viewing the world differently, tool for knowing that we don't need to have as many judgments, tool to understand how to transcend negative feelings, and most importantly, how to get insights into you and whatever you're dealing with, good and bad. It's not about detachment, as in I couldn't care less. In fact, if at all, it increases your empathy, your relationship with other people, unless your pride comes in. So, John Kabat-Zinn is the one I would say started the secularized mindfulness movement in the US. Where did it go after that? We'll get to that tomorrow. Today, first, let's get to a breath awareness meditation. And as I told you guys yesterday, we will be focusing on different ways of paying attention to the breath. Yesterday, we did breathe in, I count one, breathe in, I count two. Today, we are going to do a totally different meditation style. What I would like you guys to pay attention to is this. What works better with you? The counting or what I'm going to teach you today? So have your spinal cord straight. Relax your shoulders. If you want, in fact, I would ask you to close your eyes at this point because you are new, most of you guys. It's better to close your eyes to avoid the stimulations from outside and go inwards, inward to the source of your life, the breath. Relax your shoulders and take a few deep breaths first. Keep your spinal cord straight and start paying attention to your breath. Allow your attention to stay in your nostrils, just your nostrils, nowhere else. The breath goes in, pays attention to how the nostrils feel when the breath goes in. Breath goes out one more time, pay attention to the nostrils. They will tingle, they will burn, they may have some breezy feelings, whatever ways in which your nostrils are reacting to the breath. Pointed attention to the nostrils and the area around the nostrils, this area, which is basically nostrils. Pay attention to that. Breath in, I pay attention to my nostrils. Breath out, I pay attention to my nostrils. The breath is normal. You're not changing the breath. You're not purposely making it deeper anymore. You're not purposely making it longer or shorter. Whatever ways in which your breath is going in and coming out, you're simply noticing it. Breath in, notice. Breath out, notice. And if you have any itching or twitching in your nostrils, try not to do anything about it. No scratching, nothing of that sort, just simply observing. I promise In case there is any itching, it will go away after some time. No judgments, no reactions, simply observing your nostrils to see how it is receiving life, your breath. If your mind is wandering around, that's okay. You will get distracted. You will daydream. That's the nature of the mind. But once you realize that, aha, that's my mindful moment, let me come back to the breath. All you're doing, you're focusing on the breath, bringing your attention back to the breath. Aha, this is my mindful moment. Now I go back to the breath. Breath is anchor, breath is the center, breath is the source. Each breath is new. Pay attention if each breath is a little bit different. When you pay attention acutely and minutely, you will notice each breath is a little bit different. And in our case, what that would mean is each time the breath goes in, your nostril will feel a little bit different, not exactly the same. Things change moment by moment. Breath goes in, breath goes out. Breath in and breath out. And you notice the nostrils. as the gateway of the breath to our body. Your nostrils flare a little bit. Maybe there is a little movement inside the nostril, a breezy feeling, maybe slight burning, twitching, itching. Just notice. No need to actually scratch. No need to do anything about it. No need to react. Just simply observe. As you're paying attention to your breath, in case any other part of your body starts itching or starts demanding your attention by acting some on it in some way, you don't need to. Let it be. Maybe your back will itch, or somewhere there may be aches and pains, and you may be tempted to either give up the meditation or stop. You can move a little bit, you can adjust your body a little bit to see if the ache or pain goes away. That's okay. But other than that, try not to react, try not to do anything. Just come back to the breath. I can attend to those things later. Right now, I'm focusing on the breath. It looks like we have already exhausted our 10 minutes. And as a result, I'm going to ask you to start slowing down in your attention to breath. And as I said yesterday, now we are going to do the 3 times what we generally do at the end of the meditation. Take a deep breath and say, breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. This is the moment I am okay. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. And then slowly open your eyes. And then all the way. Now, what did you just do? You are developing focus. The first step towards open awareness or true mindfulness is to be able to concentrate. If you were a monk, you would be paying attention to your breath for the longest time. And that's what I would urge you to do this week. Not like a monk, but enough. Outside of these sessions, if you are able to, please just pay attention to your breath, even if it is just 2 minutes at a time. Developing focus, that's what we are working on. The other thing I want to say is the two methods I've taught you, one is counting and the other one is nostrils. Nostrils is comes from a strict tradition of mindfulness, or what's called vipassana. Vipassana, that's the other name. In vipassana retreats or vipassana retreats, in the beginning, all you do is to pay attention to your nostrils for first few days. Because of doing vipassana retreats, for me, that's my preferred way, or more or less the automatic way, is to go back to the nostrils when I start paying attention to my breath. However, that's not the only way. The counting method 1, 2, you can change it and you can decide you're going to count 1, then the next breath 2, and go up to 10. And then you will restart at number 1. Robert Thurman, one of the meditation teachers, one time when I attended his talk, this is the method he had followed. The thing about this method is it will be interesting to see how many numbers you can go up to. But then what it becomes is it becomes a race against yourself. And that's not really the goal. Focus, focus, focus. That is the goal. And to know that everything changes. The law of impermanence. Now let me attend to some of the questions before we actually stop. Somebody is saying it was helpful at bringing me back to the present. And that's the reason why guided meditations are useful in the beginning especially, or even now for me. I like sometimes to listen to guided meditations because then they ask you, they remind you to come back to the breath or to whichever the object was. Okay, now somebody is asking a question. Let me attend to this one. My friend swims 72 laps 5 times a week. He says he focuses on his breath. He's not trying to meditate. Does he meditate? If not, what is he missing? John, it is a type of meditation. If he's focusing on the breath while he's swimming, yes, it is type of meditation. There is one thing though, what we are trying to do at this point by focusing on the breath is we are learning to focus and concentrate. We are beginners first of all, and we are learning to focus and concentrate by putting everything else aside. When he's swimming and also paying attention to the breath, no matter what, other things would be entering his mind or his attention span. In that sense, it is a little bit different. But if he has been doing it for a long time, I bet he has developed focus and concentration even in other aspects of his life. So in that way, yes, what he's doing is meditation, but what we are doing is a little bit different at this point. Also, I find that because of secularization of mindfulness, we are thinking about focusing on the breath pretty much as developing focus and concentration. But if you go a slightly spiritual way, you are really paying attention to the life source. Really minutely paying attention to actually how your nostrils are breath while you're, then it becomes a mechanical act of focusing on the breath. So for the time being, do stick to this type of focusing on the breath. I hope that answers your question, John. And at this point, I have to say, we are running out of time. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Some of you I may see tonight, the same day, because I do this twice a day. And tomorrow we will learn another way to focus on the breath. Meanwhile, decide which one, counting and nostril, which one is your favorite way to focus on the breath. Bye for now, and I'll see you tomorrow.